EDR data is the fourth one is probably the most widely, or the third one is probably the most widely utilized today. EDR data has been around since early 1990s. GM rolled it out first. It became a very good tool for us in fraud cases, specifically in stage collisions. We could look at such things as how the driver drove the vehicle, basically speed, braking, steering in some cases. It allowed us to really take a look and put ourselves in the driver's seat. And particularly on these stage collisions, we were able to see what the driver was doing leading up to the collision, the actions they took, and did it look to be a fraudulent type event or maneuver or operation of the vehicle itself. This data has become widely used in fraud cases today. It covers such things as I mentioned, brake switch, speed steering, transmission, delta V, driver and passenger seatbelt use, ignition cycles, SIR warning status, as well as ABS diagnostic codes and components stalled, such as tire pressures, things like that. The new thing that's happening in EDR data in the last 5 years, which is really great, is we're getting mileage, date, and time at the time of event. Previously, EDR data was not required to capture that data. Most new EDRs are giving us date and timestamp, which is great because obviously, if it's a collision involving some kind of fraudulent activity, we can tie that collision directly to a date and timestamp of when it occurred. So EDR data is becoming a very powerful tool in fraud cases because of that idea of now we know where the vehicle was at what time of day and what date. Previously, the only thing we received was ignition cycles. So we'd have to work backwards based on how many ignition cycles a day to determine if, in fact, the event we were looking at was tied to this fraudulent event. As I mentioned today, it really is providing date and timestamp. Remember, oftentimes no data recorded is just valuable as data because most fraud cases, they really want to get to an injury component to these cases. So if you think about EDR data, it wakes a computer up and then records all these things we talked about, speed, steering, braking. If we have an event that it does not wake the computer up, it did not reach the threshold that it needed to wake the computer up. And that by federal law under FMVSS 563 tells us that it has to be a delta V of 5 over 150 milliseconds. So you need to have a certain threshold to wake the computer up to get there. If it doesn't wake the computer up, that's just as valuable because that data can then be turned over to the biomechanics folks who can use it and say, you can't get this lower back injury, this neck injury. You can't get this injury because it did not reach the threshold. And we know it didn't reach the threshold because it did not wake the computer up and record data. So keep in mind, EDR data, no data is just as important as EDR data, data. So we basically not having the computer wake up certainly helps us in those cases.